Okay, guys, welcome to the Chosen One podcast show. If you landed on this podcast episode, you are probably a manifesting generator and a female entrepreneur, coach, or expert. So, welcome. Take a cup of tea and binge listen to all the amazing episodes I have set up for you. Episodes to help you create the right energy and mindset to create the manifesting generator business and life of your dreams. Here we go. Morning, beautiful souls. It's actually 11:30, but it feels like morning because thank you, baby. We woke up, I think, around 9 or 9:30. And then yesterday I went to bed and I was like, you know what? Tomorrow I'm just gonna clean the house and just listen to podcast episodes and only do whatever it is that I want to do. And it's so funny because I actually get to do that almost always. But most of the time at the end of the week, Thursday or Friday, I'll get to the point that I actually have done all the things that have a to-do character to it. So, for example, replying to some of my clients, having the coaching calls, doing webinars, all of that stuff that I absolutely love doing, but still have a to-do character to it because you are agreeing with somebody to do something at a specific time. So it has a to-do character to it. And then Friday is the day that there's literally nothing I have to do. And a lot of the times that's already on Thursdays for me, that there's literally nothing I have to do. Actually, it starts on Wednesday because Tuesday is usually the only day that I have to do something. But this particular week, I did a webinar on Wednesday evening. And then, of course, I had a lot of spin-off of the webinar and things that I just wanted to send out. So that sort of took over the Thursday. So this week was a little bit different. But today I was like, oh my God, I'm just going to clean the house, listen to podcast episodes, go on my quest. I'm on a quest. I will tell you a little bit more about that in a second. And then just see what unfolds. And you have to understand that my house is as if a bomb had exploded in every single room. And not only a bomb had exploded, but it needed to be cleaned as well, right? I mean, you could see that it hadn't been vacuumed for at least a week, and the laundry and everything is oh my goodness. And then when I wake up in the morning, I'm oh my goodness, where to start? But we're now 2 hours ahead and everything is done. It's all cleaned. It's all fresh and clean. And I'm sitting in the house, looking around oh, this is so freaking amazing. And I love that, right? Because I actually did it with my husband present today because he was working at home and then he's now to the gym. Usually I wait until he's away because I like cleaning better when he's not around. But since I started upstairs, this was not a problem. And then we have this little rascal running around as well, which makes cleaning up very interesting because as you are cleaning the one thing, she's pulling everything out of the closets at the other side of the room. So that's very interesting. But still, it's fun. It's fun to do that together and to have her little presence with me while I'm cleaning, right? So, okay. Why did I want to do this episode today? I wanted to give you guys a little behind the scenes again because I love doing the behind the scenes episodes and give you a little updates about my migraines, right? Because a couple of, I think, weeks ago, I did an episode about migraines. I know a lot of podcasters will tell you in the episode, yeah, go back to this specific episode. It's number this and this. I really don't know which number it is. If you want to find it, just go out and look for the episode with the title with something migraine in it. But if you haven't listened to that, I will give you a small recap. I've been having real bad migraines since I think the beginning of 22. And it was becoming an obsession for me to figure out what was causing these migraines, right? Was it the fact that I'm still breastfeeding? Was it the fact that I was like having my braces, which I'm almost done with, like 5 more weeks, so excited. Is it the fact that I'm eating sugars? Like, what the heck is it, right? I was like just so frustrated because it was like getting worse, right? And like a couple of times a week, and I was like, oh my God, like this is the worst thing ever. So I came to the point that I was like, okay, something got to change. And then I was like, all of a sudden I received this download, right? Okay, like try Reiki again. So I called my friend and my soul sister Jen. I was like, do you have time tomorrow to do Reiki on me? And very surprisingly, she had time because she's actually not running her practice at this moment right now. She is doing something else in her life and she's really busy. So I was like, the chance that she has time tomorrow for me is like so small. But she was like, yes, I do. Come. So I was like, okay, thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Thank you, guides. This is the right thing to do. So I went over there. And what she did to me, I just simply cannot explain. I'm telling you, I don't know about any other Reiki practitioners, but I know this girl has a gift that is beyond words. And especially in the beginning of my business, she was a big part of my process. She was with me all the time. If I did live events, she was there to make sure that my energy was kept really sacred and really protected. And she was like always with me. But when I was laying there and she was putting her hands at the back of my neck and I laid there for over an hour, what happened? Like a sort of electric energy went all the way from like my neck, all like it took over my whole skull. And then at the end of the 1.5 hours almost, it was at the top. And then we were like, okay, we're good. We can stop now. I know that energy work is real, right? I work with energy myself, but still I'm just like so surprised when things like that happen and when you notice it on a physical level, right? I did a call the other day. I did the Mary Magdalene initiation. We were with, I think, 4 women live, or 4 or 3. I don't remember correctly. I think 4. And then when I started the initiation, I kept seeing the infinity sign. They kept showing me the infinity sign, but like infinitely, right? They kept showing it to me, kept showing it to me, kept showing it to me. But in the initiations, I'm silent. I do not speak. So I'm just like turning on the energy, and then everybody is receiving it. I give specific instructions, and then people get their own downloads, right? And then at the end of the call, I did sort of ask, like, what came up for you? Did you feel anything? Because sometimes you don't feel anything specifically during the initiation, and you get the downloads afterwards. And then 2 of the women were like, yes, well, what happened is I kept seeing the infinity sign. And we're like, oh my God, this is like so amazing to witness that on a physical level as well, right? Anyway, I was laying there and I knew like what she did was I just felt like, okay, this is really powerful. I also knew like this is not the end yet, so something more needs to happen. And then all of a sudden she says, Sophie, are you still going to the acupuncturist? I'm like, no, I'm not. She's like, well, think about picking that up again. I'm like, okay, I will. So I went home and I Googled, I love Google. I Googled acupuncture. Well, you get the word. It's a complicated word. And then I entered a town nearby my town. And I love doing that because 9 out of the 10 times the universe will then show me a couple of like options, and then one of them will really resonate with me. So I came across like the first click was somebody, and I was like, yes, this is the person I have to go to. And I've been to a lot of acupuncturists, and like this is like the first person that I felt like, okay, yes, this is like somebody who really understands my need for information as a one line, right? I'm a human design manifesting generator 1-3, and my one line wants to understand how things work. So just sticking needles inside me is not going to do the trick. I have to sort of understand why that is working. Okay, what are you doing? Like, are you doing it according to a do you have a theory, right? Do you know what you're doing? Can you explain it? And he was very well in explaining it, which is like, I think, part of the of the effect, right? This is why I love doing my webinars, for example, where I explain things to the mind, right? Why is it important? Why will this work to you? Our mind needs to understand what is happening, because otherwise it will just get dismissed by our system. Anyways, started these sessions with him. I did 4 to 5 sessions now, and I can really say that the migraines are almost gone. Like, I maybe had one migraine in the last couple of 3 weeks, but I used to have it like multiple times a week. And then now when I have it, it's like not as intense, and it doesn't last as long. So that is like huge progress. And what was really interesting is that last week I could feel another migraine sort of coming up. And what I've noticed, because I love analyzing things, my one line, is that before I get the migraines, my body, and this is very interesting, and I've been trying to find the words to describe this also to my acupuncturist, but he's not really getting it. But it doesn't matter because he doesn't need to get it as long as I get it. But what happens before I get the migraines? It's like inside my body, like, you know that if you have an elastic, right? And if you pull the elastic and then you let go of it, it will sort of vibrate, right? It will make a vibrating sound almost, and like you can literally see and feel the vibration. This is what happens inside my body before I get the migraines. It's like something inside me starts vibrating. It's really weird. Like, I was trying to explain it to him. He's like English, so I had to explain it in English as well. And I said something like shaky, but that's like not at all what it is, because it's not really shaking from the inside out. It's like a frequency is vibrating really high, really high. It's almost like I can hear the zooming from inside my body. And then the migraine comes up. So last week when I felt that, I was like, okay, this is interesting. What if I, instead of ignoring this feeling, listen to the vibration and see if I can lower the frequency inside my body? So since like something happened in my personal life a couple of months ago, which really resulted in me getting back into my spiritual practice. Something happened which caused me for 2 years almost to sort of not do anything anymore with meditation, with energy work, with like, of course, everything I do, even the last couple of years, had some sort of energy work, because I'm just like really it's who I am. But I wasn't really I wasn't practicing it at the level that I'm required to practice it to serve at the level that I'm supposed to serve. And this is what I said in the last episode. Sometimes things will happen in your life and people will show up as jerks, so you can let go of them because you need to change something in your life, and it's like impossible with those people present. And it has nothing to do with those people, but it has to do with your higher calling. Anyways, since this happened, I started reconnecting with my gemstones again. So those of you who have followed me longer know that I have beautiful gemstones in my house, like huge, humongous gemstones. In 2018 and 19, I invested a lot of money in buying. Oh, Zoe, be careful. I invested a lot of money in beautiful gemstones. And I have like huge ones. And then I also have like 3 like smaller ones that are the size of my hand palm. And I used to carry 2 of them with me all the time. I didn't even know where I had put them. But after all that stuff happened, I'm like, I need to reconnect with my stones. They're They're here for a reason. So I started using those two stones again on a daily basis. And one of those stones is a brownish stone. Um, and I was this stone really helps me to ground my energy. I've been working a lot on grounding as well, by the way, since my migraine started passing. By the way, when I started the when I started the Reiki, this also happened in my personal life, which then led to me picking up my spiritual practice again. So it all happened in the same week, okay, picking everything up. So these energies went out of my life. I started practicing my spiritual things again. Started doing acupuncturist. Okay, so I think it's a combination of all of that has led to me not having the migraines anymore. But anyways, I felt it picking up, and I decided to sit down with that stone in my hand and just relax and just be like, okay, I'm not gonna do anything until this energy stops, like until the vibrating gets less. So this is now something I do. When I feel the migraines come up, I sit down, take that specific stone, and wait until that feeling gets less before I get into the action mode again. So this is a little update about the migraines. Then I want to give you another upgrade, which is more business related, but life related and soul mission related, of course, as well, because everything at the end is one. My quest for a more automated business. So I've told you in another episode that I was like sort of exploring how can I make my business more automated. And I was also explaining to you that it's not a download specifically. So I might share an episode with you. I'm not quite sure yet. I have to see if I can actually do it. But I've created, I'm in a portal with an amazing client of mine. She's also an unapologetic. And then we also have a one-on-one healing portal where I actually teach her how, or I don't teach her, I help her reconnect with her guides and her source energy. And in between the initiations that she receives from me, she also gets Voxer support. And she asked me a question about how do you know the difference between a download and a thought? And we shared some voice memos around that. So I was thinking maybe that could be an interesting episode as well. So let me see if I can manage that. But this thing about that automated business is not a download per se. It's a combination. It's a download I got about a desire, but the actions I'm taking up until now are not really downloads, but they're more like lefts. This is something I explained in those audio memos as well. Like if it's a download, it comes from the right side of my mind. And then if it's a thought, if it's a thought, it comes from the left side. So the way I'm approaching this topic is from the left side. So I'm like exploring all kinds of things to see if I can get some more clarity around the desire. Okay. So what's really interesting here is that I'm actually, like I told you guys yesterday in the episode, that sometimes I will be put in the energy field of specific people, right? With the interview I listened with the priestess, that was absolutely something the universe did. Like my guide, no, not the universe, the guides. My guides put me in her energy field. That's one thing that happens to me. And then sometimes I will just like look for things. And that's like more of my left side brain. That's me doing it. That is not my guides like saying, okay, I'm just putting you in this energy field because you have to like take this further. Like, no, this is like me exploring things. It's like on my 3 line, my experimenter line. So I'm experimenting with different kind of content around this topic from certain different kind of people. And the way I always know, like, this is not my guide showing me, is because I know, like, okay, this is not fully it yet, but we're getting closer. So the reason why I love doing that from the third line is actually because it is sort of like helping me get clarity about what my desire actually is. Like I've told you in previous episodes, once I know what it is that I want, I can manifest it instantly, literally instantly. I have so many examples of that. The interview with Jim Fortune, for example, was an example of that. I knew in 2019 I wanted that interview with him. My mom was like, "You're not like that's never gonna happen." Like she didn't say that, but she was like, "Okay, yeah, you go for it." And I just sent him that email like, I would really love to interview you. And I was in Venice then. And he sent it back like, yes, let's do this. And my mom was like, oh my God, I can't believe he said yes. I'm like, yes, if I want something, I manifest it instantly, right? By the way, my mom never says that something cannot be done, but you get like she was sort of like surprised because he's big in the States. So, and then just for a Dutch girl to send out an email like, I want to interview you. Okay. Anyways, if I know what I want, I can manifest it instantly. So I also know when I do not manifest something what I think I want, that I still do not fully know if I want it. So there are always like question marks around that. And around this topic, there are a lot of question marks, but I'm currently going through some content that allows me to feel what actually resonates with me and what doesn't. So I come to the conclusion that I do not really desire an automated business. What I desire is the business I currently have, because I love, love, love the business I currently have. I love the fact that I made a commitment to, not to make a commitment, that sounds weird. That's just like that the universe has shown me that one-on-one is my superpower. That so that whatever I offer, it doesn't matter what I offer, it always includes a form of one-on-one. Either like me greeting somebody in WhatsApp, right, after they signed up, or like really having a one-on-one call with me, or like exchanging voice memos. One-on-one people, if they work with me, if they get a form of one-on-one with me, their life and their business changes. Okay, so that's something that my guides have really showed me. And this is also something that I explain in the webinar, that like that is like the magic formula that actually decides if somebody starts making money with their soul's mission when they start working with me or not, if they get that one-on-one thing. And then there are two other ingredients that also need to be met. One is like they have to invest money, and then the second one is that they have to be a manifesting generator, and then the third one is that they have to have one-on-one contact with me. So me knowing that, there is no way for me to offer something without one-on-one contact in this point and stage of my life and business. Okay, so this is something I want to keep. Now this is where it becomes interesting, because everybody who teaches something about like automated businesses and everything like that says that cannot be done. You cannot do one-on-one and have it automated, because you can only do a certain amount of one-on-one. I'm like feeling the desire coming up to prove that wrong, okay? Because my desire is to have like, okay, let me explain what I mean when I'm talking about an automated business. What I mean is that my desire is to have a certain amount of money come in automatically at the beginning of each month, okay? That's the desire. I've actually always run a business model that I had money coming in. But the way I did it before is that I did launches, and then I would like do big launches and do like 60, 70, 80, 90K in a launch. And that would then last me a couple of months. That worked for that moment, but that's not something that is feeling appealing to me at this stage in my business at all. But the money coming in, like this, like knowing that a certain amount of money comes in at the beginning of the month, is something that feels very appealing to me. Okay, so I still have money coming in every month at the beginning. around, it sort of differentiates between 3,000 and 4 or 5,000, but I would like that number to be higher. And I know now that I do not want to do it in the way that I used to have it, because then I would do big launches that would last me like 6 months, for example. I could like totally live an amazing life for 6 months of that. But I would also like sort of be so exhausted by the launch that I wouldn't do anything in those 6 months. And I don't feel like that's the higher calling for me. I feel like the higher calling is to be very present, to be very present for my clients. And I'm really at a stage in my life and my business that like quality is like quality over quantity, right? That's also something I explained in my webinar. So I'm like working out the puzzle, how that would work. Like so the desire is to have an X amount of money coming in at the beginning of each month for at least the upcoming 12 months. But then also a system that when we are getting near the 12 months, that again, another cycle has already been activated, which makes the cycle continue, right? So a continuous cycle of monthly revenue coming in automatically. That's the desire. And then the other desire is to keep running my business in a very soul-aligned way, allowing my manifesting generatorness to come to full expression, doing a lot of inspired action portals, really feeling into the current energy, what lights me up, what serves my clients, really do portals in service of my clients, and really having that true connection to all of my clients so I can get them to that next level. So I cannot have one fixed program, or maybe I can, but I do not want that, because that's not something that lights me up. I want to have, like I said in that previous episode, a buffet of like portals and some sort of structure. So the structure currently is that I do a MG Selling Queen round every full month. So the MG Selling Queen round is the only offer besides the initiations that I offer for under 3,000. So all of my portals start at 3,000, but then I have like the MG Selling Queen and my Inspired Action initiations. I have felt the download for a new initiation, by the way. I will share more about that when I get more clarity around that. But those are the only like low price portals, right? So the MG Selling Queen is 99 euros, and a lot of the times I have an offer on that going on, and the initiations are 99 or 111 at this point. I'm actually on an experiment to see how I can get more clients into the MG Selling Queen, because that differentiates, is that the right word? It changes every round. Like sometimes I have 8 people, sometimes I have 3 people, and I still feel like they're showing me like more women can come into that portal. So I have some really cool thoughts around that to see if we can take that next level. So that is something like that is sort of a thing that I'm like now having come back on a continuous basis. I have done 4 rounds now, and I still feel like, yes, that's something I want to continue. But then the thing that comes after the MG Selling Queen, the thing that I offer people after the MG Selling Queen, if I feel like I want to continue to work with them, because that's very important with me. I can only work with people that I'm actually excited about. And if I'm not excited about it, would you poopa? Okay, I have to wrap it up, guys, because she needs to go to the bathroom. But we'll go deeper into this topic a little later. For now, this is the update. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. We'll talk soon. And so excited about everything that's unfolding. Ciao for now.